guys! Firstly, I'm really sorry if throughout this video you can hear a lawnmower. It's just a sound effect I've been testing out and I think it's quite nice. It's quite satisfying. It's like when you fall asleep and listen to whale noises. I've never done that in my life, but if it's relaxing, tell me and I'll give it a go. I don't know why I always do this. I never know what to say, so I just ramble about anything for probably about 10 minutes until it sounds okay. Hello again, let's start all over again. Oh my god, why does every video take me so long to start? Oh god, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Hi! I've got coffee stain on my hand. That shows how real the addiction is. It's beginning to stain my skin. You know, that is a sure warning sign that I need to stop, but I won't stop. What I'm trying to say is I'm really sorry if throughout this whole video you can hear a lawnmower noise. My dad's doing the lawn. The lawn is right outside my bedroom. So yeah, I'm really sorry about that. When I first started YouTube and I did my first ever video, like last year, I said that I wanted to keep my channel real. I wanted to talk about stuff like mental health, fitness, general life, and I feel like recently I've kind of strayed from the mental health aspect and I went more into talking about being gay, and you know, that was I really enjoyed making those videos. But something that's really prominent in my life and it is really difficult for me at the moment is my mental health. It's something that is a big factor and contributor to me not being able to stay focused with things, me just generally struggling with struggling to talk. No, it is a massive factor in me struggling with day-to-day life. Yeah, I thought I would do a video today which is kind of almost like an update on my mental health situation, the things I've been going through, what I've been experiencing, kind of diagnosis and stuff like that, if that's even how you say that word. Yeah, if anything, this video will be good for me because I can talk about things and kind of take a minute and think about what's been going on recently. But where do I start? That is the golden question. I don't know. So I've been receiving help with my mental health since I was 12. I'll be 22 in a couple months, so that's nearly 10 years. I don't know if I'm supposed to get some sort of badge or medal or some kind of cape to commemorate it, my anniversary, I don't know. Yeah, I started having help with my mental health when I was 12. My dad took me and my brother, my older brother, to see a therapist. But I was too young, I think, to see her because I remember the main thing she said to me was, everything you say to me is confidential. I won't tell anyone else what you say unless someone is in danger. Now, the stuff that I needed to talk to her about was people who were in danger at that time and who still are kind of in danger. So I was like, fuck, how am I supposed to tell her my problems when it will get everyone in trouble, I'll be in trouble, and like I'll just have a general life meltdown. Cut a long story short, I had a general life meltdown anyway because I didn't tell her what I needed to, which is why perhaps I'm still struggling with my mental health now, because I was maybe too young when the whole help process started, or I didn't understand how to help myself, which meant other issues in my head snowballed and things got bigger and worse for me. Then things kind of didn't die down, but I kind of covered things up, just a few dips here and there. Then when I was 15/16, like going into college, things began to plummet for me and I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety and I dropped out of college. To begin with, it kind of was a bit of, I had a lot of explaining to do with my parents as to why I thought that was the best thing for me to do, but after explaining myself to them and my feelings, they realised that it was definitely the right thing for me to do as well, so I got their support. Was put on citalopram, which is an antidepressant, and tried to get my shit together. I went back to college in the September to redo my first year, so start all over again, but I dropped out again. And then I had a year out and then I went back to college. So this is what, the 4th year. I'm now 20, I think, trying to do college. And I got through the first year, did my exams, and the second year, which is summer just gone, I dropped out before my second year exams. Again, because I couldn't handle it. And that's because in between that time of me trying to start college all over again, 17-year-old Florrie to like 21, 20-year-old Florrie, in that little gap I developed an eating disorder, which obviously is common knowledge on my YouTube because that's what I've spoken about. And so I was trying to battle this eating disorder, battle my depression, battle my anxiety, battle all these dark thoughts that were happening, battle guilt, battle everything all at once. And that caught up with me, and there was an explosion in my head, like not literally, because I don't know how I would have come back from that. But yeah, things got really terrible, but it's all a bit of a blur. But I pulled myself through, my parents pulled me through. I was literally being dragged out of this dark place, and I began to use fitness in a more positive way to try and help myself out of that hole. Now, me in the present time, if you've managed to follow any of this, my eating disorder is becoming more under control now. My anxiety varies kind of from, you know, day to day, but at this moment in time I am really battling with mood swings, and I'm either really crazy super happy, like my family have said to me before, if they didn't know who I was they'd be like, wow, she's taking loads of drugs. That's like how crazy I get. I'm either really happy, or when I crash, it is like you're out in the depths of hell. I don't know if you believe in hell or just to think of the worst thing ever. That is what it feels like. I feel like there's two parts of me. There's me who is talking now, and you know, I really want to live a happy life. I really want to be in control. I really want to get better. But there's another part of me which feels like it's a separate person who I don't know, who doesn't like me, and they don't want me to get better. They, at the end of the day, don't want me to exist anymore, and that is a very difficult thing to deal with. And again, in videos before I've spoken about suicidal thoughts, which of course is really what I'm referencing now. This other thing in my head is pushing those thoughts on me every single day. I have to deal with that, and I explained it to my dad the other day, because it's difficult if, you know, your loved ones around you see you be crazy happy one minute and really desperately suicidal the next. It's such a dramatic change. It's polar opposites of spectrum. It's difficult for them to deal with, and it's difficult for them to understand, especially if they've never had mental health issues themselves. So with my dad, for instance, sometimes it's difficult for him to fully understand where my head's at. So I explained to him that this other thing that lives with me in my head, it's like, imagine someone following you everywhere you went, and they had a gun pressed into your back, and they had like a knife held against your throat, and they were following you, and you knew that they wanted to kill you, but you had no control as to when they were going to pull the bullet or, you know, slice your throat. Like, you don't have any control, and you don't know when it's going to happen, but you can feel that that threat is there. And that is what it's like in my head. I have no control over this other thing. Like, it's almost like my brain is trying to kill me. Like, it's a really frightening thing. It's very distressing. It makes me feel very angry and emotional, and it makes me feel very exhausted. Now, I've recently gone back to my doctor because things have got really terrible with me in terms of this mood swinging that I've just explained that's in my head. And they've referred me to a Salisbury mental health team, which is like a hospital specialising in that kind of mental health type thing. I've been backwards and forwards to there throughout this decade of craziness, and every time I've gone to these appointments, or every time I've seen a specialist or someone who's trying to help me with my mental health, they've always mentioned bipolar to me. But kind of as the years have gone by, this word bipolar has got stronger and stronger, because it began where people were like, maybe you've got bipolar. I don't really think you do, you just got really bad depression. And then it got to kind of a few years later, and people were like, you are like textbook bipolar. That's what someone said to me, but I don't know that you definitely are. And then more recently, the people I've seen have said, yeah, okay, yeah, we are pretty sure you are bipolar. So now I'm waiting. On the 13th of September, I have an appointment with a specialist who will diagnose me with bipolar or not diagnose me with bipolar. I've got a little window now from here till then where I just need to wait, and I need to write it out. In terms of medication, I'm currently on something called mirtazapine. I don't like it. It's an antidepressant and it's kind of like a sedative in a way. I take it at night time and I'm flat out asleep, like you cannot wake me up. I need to set about 15 alarms. That's not even a joke. Am I right, Ellie? Am I right? Honestly, those alarms don't do anything. They go off, and I have the, you know, on iPhones, the alarm that goes I have that one next to my face, and it does nothing. You wipe me out, this medication. But it kind of is counterproductive for me now. It's not working with my body, because I don't believe depression is the thing that needs to be treated with me. I believe it is something deeper, whether it's bipolar or not, I don't know. And this medication is difficult for me because I go on a run or do any form of exercise because that helps me mentally, but I don't actually have the energy to do it, which then stresses me out and kind of brings my eating disorder back out again, because my body's like, okay, well, if you can't exercise, then how the hell are we going to let you eat any food? And it's really stressful. And I had the doctors today actually, and I said to her, I think it's actually counterproductive, but obviously I can't come off it or really have anything drastically change until I see this specialist, because he needs to see me as I am to be able to diagnose me. When bipolar was first mentioned to me and I researched it, a lot of the things I read was that it takes a very, very, very long time for someone to actually be diagnosed with bipolar, because it's a very difficult mental health illness, I hate that word, to diagnose. Like, it's a big thing. It's like a, you know, it's a really scary disorder to have. I read lots of articles where people had been diagnosed with bipolar, where they would say you really have to push for your diagnosis, you have to fight for it, you really need to be patient and strong in waiting for you to be diagnosed, and then obviously be given the right medication, because it is a long process. And this is kind of evidence of that. It's been 10 years of trying to get some form of diagnosis. Yes, I did have depression. I probably do have depression still now. I know I do. Yes, I had an eating disorder. I probably still have an eating disorder. Yes, I've got anxiety, but those things I can manage now. It's the mood swings that really are disrupting my life and just making things difficult. For example, I got signed off of work for 2 weeks because of my mood swings. That was very recently actually. And I had to step down from a supervisor job I was doing because my mental health just wouldn't allow me to keep doing that job. And that's what I mean, that this is disrupting my life. Because when I'm in a dark place, I am just a shell. I don't want to be around anyone, but I don't want to be on my own, because I know that I have bad things happening in my head that I don't trust. And you know, it's a horrible situation for everyone who's kind of surrounded by it. In a way, it would be helpful if they could diagnose me with something when I go and see him. Not because I want a label, I don't care about that. I need a title to know what I'm dealing with, if you know what I mean. I need to know that I'm dealing with bipolar or something else, so then I can do my research and I can look at how to live with this disorder and how to help myself. So I'm really praying this man can help me, and I can do a video on that if that's helpful for anybody. It is true, you do need to really kind of fight and push for your mental health if you're not being heard, or if things are getting worse for you, or things aren't getting any better. You do need to shout about it. Sometimes the only way you're going to be heard is if you scream and shout. Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of what I've had to do at this point. I can do a more detailed video as well on my whole experience, kind of from being this age, about kind of my experience with the mental health team and how they've handled me and whatever, if that would be helpful to anybody. But yeah, let's have a drink. Something I've been doing at the moment, which has been really helping me, because I find with my mood swings, I need structure. I need plans. I need to know exactly what I'm doing from one day to the next. If other people feel like they need structure, then maybe what I'm about to show you will help you. But it's like a weekly planner schedule thing, which I bought from Tesco. I think it was like £3. You just pull off each page when you're done, and they've got the days down there, and I've written the date. Let's do today, Thursday the 30th. I've got written on there that I've got the doctors at 10:30. I'm going to do yoga this evening and walk my dog. And the next day it tells me when I've got work, and it just helps me visually see that I do have a plan, that I can think, okay, I can depend on this to tell me what I'm doing for now. If my head is a mess, I can refer to the pad and it will save my life. It's like having your own secretary, but she's not as insane as you are. No offense, Flo, none taken. Yeah, like just little things like that, like a diary. It can just help you just clear your head out a bit and order things, because it can be chaos in there sometimes. But yeah, it was just a little update. I hope that it would be helpful for other people maybe to watch this, and if they feel the same as me or similar ways, you know, just know that you're not alone in any mental health situation. And if you ever do feel like you're at crisis point, there's so many people you can call, the Samaritans, there's so many different kind of helplines that will be there immediately for you 24 hours a day. You know, you don't need to do this on your own. It's a big scary thing to have to talk about your mental health. I don't know, I find it difficult to talk to people openly and honestly. I feel crazy saying what's in my head because I know it's not right. So I say it to a camera and talk to myself instead and pretend that I'm talking to people. But it helps, you know? I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Anyone could message me whenever they want. I'm not a doctor, I can't give answers, I can only give advice and speak from my own experiences. But yeah, message me if you need to. I don't mind, we can chat. Even if you don't want to chat about mental health, let's just be friends. I want you to know you're worth all the happiness in the world, whatever you're going through. However big you think it is or however small you think it is, there are solutions, there are people that can help you, there are things you can do. You just need to be willing to accept help as well. Yeah, I hope you're having a good day, I hope you're okay, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!